What is going on, guys? Kingpin Light here. We got Vannda, How's It Taste official music video just dropped 3 hours ago, I want to say. I saw when it dropped, but I didn't have time to react because I had a little bit of work to do. But we're going to go ahead and just jump right into this. Got closed captioning on as always. If I recall, somebody in the comments mentioned that Vannda said this was his favorite song off the album. So if that's the case, that's even more exciting. Let's see what his taste looks like on his own album. So let's jump right into it. Also, let's just point out the fact that these songs, well, I guess just this one, the other two were lyric videos, but at least this song just dropped right out with a music video as opposed to doing the audio and then music video down the line. So that's pretty cool. Obviously, a single, but then again, we don't necessarily know how he's treating the release of this album very well yet. It seems like he's doing it alongside documentaries, but then this one came out with no documentary episodes, so now I'm more confused, but either way, let's go ahead. It was just starting. It said directed by Juvie. Is that the guy from Polarix that you guys mentioned? One of the guys from the group. Okay, we're starting off with a little bit of a jazzy rock style almost. Interesting. I was gonna say it sounds like a noir movie, doesn't it? A noir movie. It's noir, I think. That's how you say it. It kind of has that noir vibe, you know, the black and white, like hard-boiled detective sort of story. It's got that sort of soundtrack to it. Hmm. Ooh, that is a nice little almost synthesized electric guitar. I'm sure it's just recorded, but it's got that real like sharpness to it. You know what it sounds like a little bit? One of like the weekend sort of sounds. I'm trying to pinpoint where exactly it would be coming from, but maybe from like Starboy or something like that. Now that did have a little bit more of a house element to it, uh, but even then, some portions of it do give me this sort of vibe. Um, and not just the weekend. That's just the first dude that came to mind. But I'm trying to think of like what else it kind of reminds me of. Anyway, let's keep going. Mm. Ooh, it's not often that we start a song off with the guitar solo. It sounds like I like the sounds of this. It had a really unique melody to it. But I wasn't expecting to start off the song with the guitar solo. You know what I mean? It's usually right toward the end, you know, as a riff between two verses. But let's keep going. This sounds really dope so far. I'm wondering, actually, let's take a quick guess while we're paused here. I'm sure you've already seen this as you've reacted to it. So I guess I will take a quick guess of what sort of flow Vonda's going to come in here with. You know, whether it's just his kind of straightforward rap flow, whether it's a singing, more of a singing melodic flow or whatever. Honestly, I can't tell off this beat yet, to be honest. But I'll make a guess. My guess is going to be he's going to do a little bit more of a fast rap style, straightforward, not as much melody as in singing. But we'll see what happens. I was off. I was wrong within seconds of saying that, but okay, let's keep going. Hmm. Okay, a little bit of a wordplay around food and it being used as a metaphor for him and which guy she's gonna go with. So, how's it taste? So that makes the title make a lot more sense, right? If I'm not good enough, just say so. Don't treat me like an appetizer, which is just the beginning taste. You get a little bit of a taste for it that gets you more prepped to eat the full meal. And then what was the next line right here? And then when you're done with me, you move on to the next dish, right? So that's how appetizers are done. You order that first, quench your hunger a little bit, and then move on to whatever you actually ordered while they're making it. You know what I mean? So he's saying, why do you treat me like a side guy, basically? Okay. So how's it taste? I get it. Hmm. Ooh. I know I'm gonna love this next part already. The way he just flew into that verse, really, really nice. But I was gonna say I like that strange singing. That's always been my favorite in singing in general. Is that sort of emotional, like you can feel the emotions. Sometimes singing is really good, but it's like overproduced, where it takes a lot of that dynamic. You know, they use a lot of like compressors and that sort of thing to make it sound more enjoyable, more easy to listen to through speakers and whatever, and they compress the dynamic frequencies of the song, basically, right? But sometimes I think allowing a little bit more of that dynamic to pop out, it gives it that more emotional feel. It feels less produced, and it's that little straining of the voice is a lot more visible. So honestly, I think songs like this, it's hard to explain because this is very well produced. There's nothing wrong with it, but it does allow itself to show a little bit of its texture, I guess is the way I would describe it. It allows it to show the texture as opposed to glossing over it with some production. Mm, yeah, I like this. See, that's awesome because it did both things in one package. It did the same thing I was just saying about the singing, where it's got that emotional outburst, or not outburst, but like emotional texture to it almost, while also having that really nice rap flow that I've always liked. That really quick pace, but still staying slightly melodic. I love that. By the way, guys, if you're liking this, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We're trying to hit 5K by the end of the year. We'll see if we can get that. But anyway, let's keep going. Hmm. Hmm. I like that. He came in. It wasn't a full acapella. It did a small refrain from the beat, but I like that he almost came in at a half beat. You know what I mean? Like when you checking a beat, if you don't already know music, the beat is like, you know, the way you would tap your finger is usually along to the drum line. It seemed like he almost came in on a half beat, which would be when your finger is at the apex of the top, right? So it's I may be wrong, but that's how it sounded to my ear. Mm. Ooh. Ooh, how's he coming back to back with all of these flows that I like from him? That's actually really dope because he's only staying on one for just a little bit of time, moving on to the next flow, and they're all sort of my favorite, right? They're none of them are just straightforward rap. Not, there's nothing wrong with that, but I feel like this adds a little bit more of enjoyment to it, adding a little bit of melody to the rapping. And so, I mean, he slowed it down a little bit. Hold on, I'm gonna point out each one. Yeah, he lowered his tone, kept it more monotone to add that extra emphasis after doing a little bit more of a dynamic rapping, having higher and lower pitches side by side. And then he does that really nice, almost whispering singing, which just sounds pleasant. Mm, mm, mm. Does this not actually, now that I'm thinking about it, the hook itself, doesn't it sound almost like the flow from Eminem's one of his diss songs? It's not like one of his popular songs, but one of his diss songs, I think maybe to Benzino. Bully. I may be wrong in which one I'm thinking of, but it definitely was a Benzino diss. I don't think it was Nail in the Coffin. I think maybe it was Bully. It sounds a little bit like Bully. That's actually cool. Mm. The song, see, the song itself, I get. It's basically about a girl who's cheating, or at least maybe moved on to the next guy, didn't treat him the way she should. And how's it taste is probably a double meaning. One is some of the wordplay he was using for food, appetizers to main meal, while also being like, how's your decision taste now, right? Like, how does revenge taste, blah blah blah, right? There's a lot of those sort of emotions that are associated with tasting, like how's it taste. So I get that. What I'm trying to figure out in my mind this whole time is, how does this fit into the narrative of Skull 2? Now, obviously, we only have 3 songs thus far to base it off of on what the story might be, but I didn't necessarily think that this um, content would be on the album with what my guess for what the album narrative was going to be. So it's a little curious. I'm actually more curious to sort of start getting more songs and being able to unravel a little bit more of what's going on. Mm, mm. Ooh. Oh, that was a dope little sound effect into this verse, whatever that was. It was like a wind up sound almost with a little bit of a higher pitch or maybe a higher formant shift. And then went right into his verse. So that was actually cool. Hmm. Yo, he went off on that little section, didn't he? And again, he's just this the story or whatever. The actual lyrics are just talking about this girl again and what some of the um, I was gonna say mistakes, but they're not really mistakes if you cheat on somebody. So some of the choices she made. Hmm. Ooh, that's interesting. I like this choice right here. Did the acapella? Didn't speak on it though. Added a little bit of spacer between the beat change. Came in with that intro almost that I was saying, that noir sounding beat, almost like an LA Noir, that game. I don't know if you guys played it. It gives me those sort of vibes. But then this time he overlaid it with some I think it was the line he already used earlier. I'd have to double check, but I think that's a line he used earlier. So he overlaid it with that, and then added some reverb and a little bit of space to the vocals. And if it wasn't already in the song, then those effects are still in there, but he just recorded a new line. Definitely not a lot of songs that start off and end with a with the guitar solo. So interesting. Okay, it was raining and now it's on fire. So you know what? Maybe that's a metaphor for the water being his sadness, and then the fire being his anger after all of it, right? Once you get over the sadness, you get a little bit angry, and then after that, you kind of let go of things. Okay, okay. Cool. So that was How's It Taste? Very good song. And from what I recall, someone in the comments said it was his favorite song, right? So I can see why. There's a lot of production on it. I think it's a very good song, and I really really liked it, especially that some of those guitar parts, and then that middle flow where he was switching between four different flows basically, or went through four different flows. But I can definitely tell why this might be his favorite because it's also a very production heavy song. And what I mean by that is there's a lot of elements to it. Even if you did, if you take a little bit of time and listen to it, even things I probably didn't catch, there's a lot of production going on. So it's probably a song that's more appreciated by artists. You know what I mean? Not only artists, of course. Like I said, it's a good song from a consumer standpoint, but I mean, I think there's a lot of hidden little things in there for somebody who's in with production, that sort of thing, that can point out. It's just a fun song, I think, to kind of break down that way. Um, oh, there's a Hyatt. I almost forgot how to say it. Um, in Phnom Penh. That's cool. So if I visit, maybe I'll stay there. I don't know. I haven't really looked too deeply at the different hotels, but either way, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed that. Um, I'm gonna be back to it with another one tomorrow, and you guys have a good rest of your day or night, depending on when you watch this, and we'll catch you on the next one.